So we're back, and this time we're going to facet a ruby, or more accurately a ruby ball, which is chemically exactly the same as a ruby, but it's made in the lab. And once it's done, you would need a gemologist or an expert to tell you if it is a ruby or a man-made ruby. So this is a good material, and it cuts very, very similarly to a real ruby as well. Well, it is a real ruby, but it's made in the lab as opposed to by nature in the ground. So the shape I want to do was inspired by a friend of mine. I work in the care industry as a maintenance person, and she bought a ruby in. She comes from Uzbekistan, and it was a beautiful shape, and hopefully you can see that. So this is the plan we're going to follow, and down at the bottom are all the index angles and the angles on the protractor to follow. So it's quite complex. I'm going to take my time over this and show it to you in stages as I go through. Right, so let's make a start. What I've done so far is pre-formed it to the shape and size that is recommended on the plan. We'll talk about plans at some stage, because there are formulas to give you the length and the width and the height to get the shape of stone that this will eventually form. But for now I'm just going to get on with a bit more pre-forming, smoothing it off and getting it an accurate size, because once you've got an accurate size, hopefully the rest of the stone will follow in an accurate way. Anyway, enough of this, let me start. So to get the size, which is going to get quite messy, we're going to start at 90 degrees and just form the four sides. I'm using the 100 stone with a light touch, 100 disc. Ooh, power on. One day I might be professional, you never know. Here we go. Water. I've done an Excel spreadsheet. Ignore the picture, because that's just to show us height, length, width and everything else, but these formulas here come on each plan. So if you just put the recommended sizes in there, it automatically calculates out what size the stone should start at. So that's how I'm fairly confident I'm getting that bit right. So what I'm looking to do is make sure that it's all square first of all. So let me start by doing that. It's going to get very noisy, so once I start I'm going to stop recording, because all I'm going to do is turn the stone and make sure it's exactly the right size all the way around. And you'll see what I mean by noisy right now. So, I'll come back to you. Right, big stone. It's going to take a long time. I'm starting with a 260 disc. I'm not sure that's wise, because I don't think it will make a big chunk in this. But we'll start with that. And it's set at, the angle is set at 34.30, and it starts at 20. And as usual, we're cutting to the center point. So it's going to get noisy again. Let's see what happens. We'll spin it up. A lot to get through. Ooh, water. Don't want any friction or heat. Well, we need friction to cut. Right, so you can see the first two cuts. I've taken out a triangular chunk. One on that side and one on that side. You can see where I've anticipated the centre point. I'm not going to cut to that all the way because I'm going to put the other two first facets in at 34.30 to a certain depth. That will then give me a rough idea as to where the centre point will actually meet. Then we'll take it steady going down and down and down until all of them meet up. That'll then be our centre point. So I've cut them all, the first facets, to a point, and they've not quite reached the centre, which is fine by me because now we can gradually lower them until they all meet at that central point. It's working. Right, so we've got there the first four facets in, and by trusting them and trusting the plan and gradually getting up to the meet point, you can see where our starting point is, right in the centre there, and the stone is beginning to take shape. Lovely colour. I think that'll do for tonight. Let's go spend some time with Mrs. Harris. Over and out. So it's been a couple of days, work calls, and we've got the first four facets in. Funny enough, this morning I had a WhatsApp, whatever you call it, from Sandon, the guy who runs the company that makes these things. Good service, just a WhatsApp saying, "How you doing?" I texted back, "I'm doing fine," and we had a little chat. That's what I call service, checking up everything's okay. Anyway, so let's start on the second set of facets. Machine on, water on. We're on the 260 disc because this is a nice hard stone, being corundum, ruby, even though it's man-made in the lab. It's very nice to cut. So, second pavilion facet is at 37.7. 37.7. This is just a rough 0.7 because you can't get an exact 0.7 on this system. Not that it holds you back. So 37.7, and it's at 14 on the index wheel. Right. See what happens here. Again, I'm cutting to the centre point because I'm assuming that's where we've got to be. Wind it up because it's a hard stone. Check and see. Oh yeah, I can see what's happening here. Good. I don't know if you can see, but you can just facing in, so we're heading that towards that centre point. Right, so that's the next four facets in. Okay. And again, we're heading to the middle. Stop and have a look just to see where it's cutting in. Okay, it's it's going to take a fair time to get through there, so come back to you when they're done. Right, so we've done all the first row of top facets, and it's now suggesting that we do the girdle. So well, let's follow the plan because they tend to know what they're doing, and what we're doing is cutting the first facet all the way to the centre point, and then we'll do the other side, and then I guess we go round, 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 round until we got the shape of the stone. So let's see how that goes. Getting close. It's all about accuracy if you're trying to get a lovely stone, which is what I'm trying on this one. So that's the first pavilion facets done, and the first two girdle facets, and you can see it's beginning to take a lovely shape. So we'll carry on now with the girdle facets, and that should then form the shape of the stone that we're aiming for. So I'll carry on with that and come back to you. So, like me, if you didn't get geometry at school and what the hell it was for, some clever bloke has drawn up a plan, has calculated the right size, helped us get the centre point, and from the centre point all of these facets, by following this plan, have come out exactly right. And now we've got 4 of the girdles in, and wow, don't you just get geometry now and maths? Calculate the size, put the points in, follow the plan. And by no means am I a genius, but by doing that you too can cut something like this. It's actually not difficult, you just got to be patient, take your time and trust the plan. But hats off to the people who actually design these things. Brilliant. Anyway, that's enough for now. Over and out. Alright, polishing. Light. So copper lap, which I've recently faced. This is the most challenging part of any cut as far as I'm concerned, getting the polishing right. So we're still definitely learning on this. Polishing takes so long that I'm going to double the speed now so you can see what happens, but without boredom hopefully. Right, so we've had a polish and I think it's looking very, very nice. Now of course it's not perfection, otherwise I'd be in a different job earning lots of money, but it's pretty good. There's a couple of spots on it that I want to have another go at. Peace and quiet. A couple of little scratches and things I'm going to see if I can try and get out, but you've got to know when to stop with these things, I think, just like a painting. And that looks good to me. I like it. Right, been away for a few days up north to Yorkshire, Lake District. Been on a boat and Whitby to find some Whitby jet. Don't know if I did, but found lots of blackstone. We'll test it at some stage. Lots of lovely pebbles. Drove up last night, so I'm a bit tired, but I couldn't wait to get back on with this ruby. So we've transferred it across, I've put it in and I've set it up so it's at the right angle, and we're going to start cutting, starting with the 600 stone, 600 disc. Told you I was tired and an idiot, so here we go. And we're on index 35, no sorry, protractor 35, which we're set at, index 3, 1, 2, 3, so here we go, let's see what happens. Too much water. Doesn't bode well, eh? So what we're doing is we are cutting to the girdle, don't know, half a millimetre maybe. this and come back to you when we've cut the first lot of crown facets, and I'll show you the progress. Right, so far this has been an utter pig. So I've stopped filming because of all the swearing. Having to recut and recut and recut, but we're getting onto the table now, so I'm using the 500. I really don't hold out much hopes for this. It'll be pretty, it'll look good, but it won't be accurate. But hey, we're learning, we're amateurs. So hard stones is going to take some time. I'll come back to you. Right, so we're into polishing, and it seems to be taking a nice polish. That's the first facet. Hopefully that shows clear. I'll carry on with the rest. So we'll start the beginning on the crown, which is at 35 degrees. Index wheel 3. WD. On. Speed. Dry. To follow me on this learning journey, please like, subscribe, and I promise you the next stone, or the next video I do, is my best effort yet. It's fantastic, even if I do say so myself.